All right. What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. So today, I wanted to make a little bit of a more of a special chamber. I know we've got our boss room and a couple of regular 4x4 rooms, but I think this one is going to require a little more problem solving for your players. So as you can see, I have an image of our dungeon progress so far in the bottom right corner, and I'm going to continue to build on that as I create these live streams, and I will keep you posted on that in the lower right corner of the screen. So check it out. Today, I want to create a chasm room. So to get started, I have my rectangular shape brush opened up, and I'm going to make this 5 squares wide, which is 25 feet, by 8 inches tall, which is 40 feet. And I have my borders at 25 or a quarter inch, 0.25 inch, and that's how we're going to get started. Now I'm going to open another layer up and drop beneath the rectangle tool, and I'm going to get a flat color brush because I don't want to change the settings on my rectangle tool. That way I can always just go back to it to make another rectangle with the quarter inch border already selected. So I'll get a hard round brush, and I think I'm going to go with a light gray for the color, and then what I'll do is I'm going to get rid of that grid real quick so it doesn't snap to the lines. And then what I'll do is make kind of a checkerboard pattern, but like I said, we're going to put a chasm in there. It's going to be the main attraction of the room, so color pattern it's not going to be that high contrast because like I said before, I mean, like in every other video I've done, it's about playability, so we want to make sure that we see the grid lines more than anything else. Everything else is just flavor, and even with the chasm, yes, it is a focal point of the room, but what we want is the players to see a problem that needs to be solved, and we don't need a masterpiece. As much as I would like to just sit there and noodle away and render the thing out like it's an oil painting from the Renaissance era, that's just not feasible. It is feasible, but for these videos and for this, for Black Mantle Studios, it isn't. So we've got our rectangle, we've got our main color, and now I'm going to take the grid, bring it back, and let's switch over to the airbrush. Now with the grid selected, I'm going to create a multiply layer, by the way, to make sure that the airbrush stays dark. So when we sketch out these lines, they conform to the grid because we have snap turned on. Now that little accident, keep it, because it's a crusty old dungeon. Things are falling apart, and little accidents like that actually we can use to our benefit, because happy accidents look better than sometimes looks better than something that we tried to make intentionally bad. I'm just going through here real quick. Okay, so I've got my grid. Now I can finally turn the grid off. It's a little bit distracting. And what I'm going to do is just softly, hold on, I want to turn the opacity. It's a little more subtle. We can go through and add all the rest of the cracks. See? Now a good way to make these cracks stand out from the tiles is, well, all the tiles are going vertical and horizontal, so we'll make the cracks go diagonal, because if we just kept making cracks up and down like this, see, they would start to blend in with the tiles, and we don't want that because we want the tiles to stand out. That way when you're moving the miniatures around on the board, you can see where you need to put them. Okay, so I'm working really lightly. I'm sketching in a lot. Now when I go back to emphasize the dark lines, I can pick and choose which ones I want to keep. And the ones that I decide not to use, well, they just kind of fade into the background, especially once we start building up our darks, building up our highlights. Okay, that's looking good. Now I'm going to keep the opacity pressure turned on, but I'm going to turn it down because I'm just going to turn it off because it'll be easier to do it this way. That edge cannot be sort of ambiguous at all. Okay. And we want the chasm to be wide enough that it's going to cause problems for the players, especially players that aren't really physically, at the level of like a thief. So in other words, what I mean is a magic user with a dexterity of 5, if you're using ability saves, or not ability saves, but just using abilities, roll under ability to leap chasms and whatnot, he's going to struggle with a 5-foot gap. So these are going to be at least this gap is 5 feet. Now I'm going to keep this like sketchiness. I like the hand-drawn effect on a lot of earlier tiles that I did. I actually kind of prefer those over the airbrush, but right now we're doing Warhammer, and I've been printing them out. They've been looking good, as you can see in the lower right corner. But they do tend to print dark. So if your printer prints dark, you can just, whatever software you use to do photo editing, you can go back in and lighten those up a little bit if that's too dark for you. Which to me, yeah, they are a little dark. So I will go. I'll adjust those. Okay, so there's that. Let's go back into our background color to make the checker pattern. I'm going to just darken this. I don't want to darken it too much. I don't want too much contrast, like I said before. So I'm going to go back into our hard flat round and color in every other tile. I don't like how that looks, so let's go back into the airbrush. We'll turn opacity off. Yeah, that looks better. It kind of blends into the soft grid lines that we created a little bit better because the flow is turned all the way down to 30. All right, keep going. Now, I think the reason why I like these checkerboard patterns so much is because of Hero Quest and Warhammer Quest growing up. There's something very Games Workshop about it. I think orcs use the checkerboard pattern a lot in Warhammer. And then, as I got older, I started listening to a lot of different sort of alternative music, and I think a lot of like ska punk music use a two-tone pattern as well. I don't know if that was like I can't remember if Vans was popular for that, but I don't know. I think it just looks really good, especially for game tiles. Okay, coloring these in, moving along quickly. Now, like I said, I want those brush strokes to stay. It just gives it a more sort of worn look. So I'll keep them. That's not to say if you decide to make your own, if these inspire you enough to do it, if these videos inspire you enough to do it, you could just use your rectangle tool and color in the flat colors. That's fine. This is just my aesthetic. Okay, so there's that. Now, what we can do, we can darken that first. We can darken the chasm, but I think first what I want to do is go back to my multiply layer, and I'm going to grab black, or something close to black, and increase the size of my airbrush, and then that way I'll just go around the outside. That's too dark. Actually, I'll select that color right there. That's still too dark. See, now that I've printed out these tiles, I know what works and what doesn't work. So let's go with the regular main color, not the dark checker. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's good, but I want to increase the size of the airbrush even more. So go around the edges. Sorry if I get a little quiet while I'm working. For some reason, it's hard working with this Wacom tablet sometimes because it's kind of like the opposite diagonal to how I'm looking at the screen. So I'm dragging my hand like this to get it to go straight on the screen. So when I actually sit down and draw something on a piece of paper, it's like my hand starts to kind of go off in a different direction because I'm used to doing it this way. Okay, now we can darken that just a hair because it does darken fast. And then obviously once you print it out, it gets even darker. Now I'm going to decrease the size of the airbrush, and then this chasm, we can darken this up. Let's try that again. Okay. Now I'm tempted to just make it a pure void, but I think it'll look better with just a little bit of that like sort of hand-drawn quality to it. And then I'll just a little bit more, and then that'll be dark enough, especially once you print it. Okay, so that's coming along pretty good. Now I was actually, when I was sketching out the different things I want to do for this room, I actually tried to create something where you see the walls all the way around. Now, maybe just a quarter inch of the wall all the way around in perspective. And I wanted to like create like a little ledge the characters could kind of shimmy along, but I couldn't figure it out. So I was, I didn't want to wait too long to get this video out here today. So maybe if I can figure it out, I'll make something like that in the future. But for now, I think this looks pretty good now because we used different opacities and darknesses. This has a little more character to it than just a hard edge. So I'm going to go in and create a linear dodge. I'll go back and pick my regular color out, and then remember we made those really subtle crack lines. And let me zoom in a little bit. Now you can kind of work around those, and then we'll get to a point where we can darken them in if we want to. Now I think for this video I'm going to increase the hardness of this linear color dodge just a hair for each pass that I do, because looking back on these tiles after they've been printed and laid out on the table, and you can see those in the lower right hand screen, they look really soft compared to the Warhammer tiles or the HeroQuest board. Now that's definitely on purpose because that's just my style. That's the style I wanted to go for these tiles, but it's a little hard to see on the table. Like if I wanted any kind of detail in there, just something simple, it gets swallowed up by the softness of everything that I'm rendering, and you really don't know what it is. Now I know I said that the grid line is the most important thing, but let's be honest, at some point you're gonna have to add some really good detail to your tiles, because you want them to look good on the table, and you can't just keep having the same regular old gridded rooms. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and select the medium gray that we have for the darker tiles, and then we'll work on those. This is just the first pass, like I said. Now something like this, I always kind of imagine like some old kingdom, not like not like orcs or elves or anything like that, like some old human kingdom this is probably some kind of old castle or fortress that is in disrepair. When I was a kid, I created this huge sprawling fantasy map. As a matter of fact, I was in the advanced art class, and she let us, me and my friend George, create this fantasy map for pretty much the whole year. And I had this just generic idea of it started with like the dragon tunnel, and because all I wanted was dragons in all my adventures, and then it went to it kind of went around like the whole gamut of like the climates and different kinds of worlds. So you had like a mist world or a mist town, you had like a jungle, you had like a tunnel, you had a desert, you had like a ghost tower. And then I also had, for some reason, I just thought that the name Eric would be like the perfect name for someone who ran this castle out in the middle of nowhere. So I had Eric's Castle, and this looks like it goes in Eric's Castle, especially if it's been sitting around unused, unrepaired for hundreds of years. And yeah, I I actually sort of prompted ChatGPT. I know a lot of people don't like AI because of like the environmental stuff, but I prompted ChatGPT to create a modern day version of that, and it was all right. Definitely didn't live up to the memory though. Okay, that's all roughed in. Now I'm gonna go back to the brush settings and increase the hardness to about 50% and see if I like that. I'm gonna go 100%. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's definitely giving you a much more sort of nuanced edge, but I'm going to back that off to about 70%. Nice. Actually, and then I'm going to decrease the size just a hair. Yeah, that's looking better. That will, so it'll make the cracks show up better once it's printed. Okay, now we're going to switch to that color right there, the highlight color, and that's going to brighten that up even more. All right, this is coming along, almost there. Now, in case anyone was wondering, I'm using Photoshop. I have a subscription to it. I'm using a Wacom, it's a Wacom 1 tablet, which has a really nice pressure control, and it's actually really affordable. I had like an off-brand, like actual display tablet, but for some reason it would crash every once in a while when I started it up, and I'd have to uninstall it and reinstall it, which was a huge pain in the ass. And it would be a huge pain in the ass if I was trying to use it for these like live streams that I'm trying to do a little bit more often. I don't have the time to do that when all I do is work and drive and commute. Okay, so that is actually looking damn near complete. I'm going to go back into my multiply layer and just darken those edges up a little bit, and I think we'll have a complete tile for this video. Now, please comment, tell me what you want to see next. I'm pretty open to ideas, even if it's going to be something that requires a little more drawing. Like if you wanted to see, like, you know, toppled columns, more gear, more broken crates, you know, stuff like that, just let me know. Because, you know, these originally I kind of envisioned these to be the bare bones, and then you could go back in and add like little tokens of like that extra kind of stuff that you wanted. But, you know, there are tiles like the Warhammer tiles that you know, a lot of that interesting stuff was built right in, like the chasm and the idol chamber. So just let me know if you have any ideas. I'd really appreciate the comment. And you know, I'm trying to keep these going, so that'll drive up the engagement and make sure that I can keep doing these. Because if this is of little interest on YouTube, I think I'm gonna go to doing more miniature painting, which is what I wanted to do in the first place. And I have a new camera lens for that, so that's definitely on the back burner. That's just about where I want it. And I'll go ahead and clean that up and port that over to, you know, my Patreon supporters. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.